The thing about James is that he was terrified of the ball. And the O'Connells were a big baseball family, right? Like when our grandpa was the mayor, maybe great grandpa. Our great grandpa was the mayor from 55 to 76. Our grandpa was 89 to 2011. So our grandpa got this whole chunk of wall from Comiskey Park when they knocked it down. And he had it in his basement like a museum. And the O'Connells always had tickets for the whole season. And my other cousins, Liam, Matt, and Sean, and Mike, they'd always be out playing baseball. But James would get to the plate and he would just croak. I mean, he would duck away from the ball. He couldn't even swing. It scared him so bad. And he was Liam, Matt, and Sean, and Mike's age. But James would always have to go play with the younger cousins because it pissed them off so bad. They couldn't understand why he couldn't just swing. And I remember one year they were all in the same Pee Wee League, and I was really little. I was probably 4. And James would just freeze at the home plate, and, his dad would go nuts in the stand. And, I mean, he was red. He'd yank him away at the end of the game, screaming his head off. But, he loved basketball, and when the Bulls kept winning in the 90s, he got obsessed with Michael Jordan. And I remember my grandma had a VCR in the basement, and he'd come over and record the Bulls games, and he'd watch them over and over. But, I mean, he was pretty shrimpy, he never got too tall, so he wasn't a great player. And I think Liam, Matt, and Sean, and Mike thought it was sort of dorky, which is funny because it's fucking basketball, how's that dorky? But I think they just thought that because James was the one who liked it. With the O'Connells, because of all the political connections we had in the city of Chicago and obviously just the money, there was always a sense that everything will be all right when someone fucked up. Liam, and Matt, and Sean, and Mike, they could total cars and beat the shit out of someone, underage at the bar, and they'd always get bailed out, and the Tribune would never report on it because my grandpa had so much sway. But James never did any of that. He was cautious. He seemed very concerned all the time. Then he couldn't throw a punch. So when everything went down in 96, it was a shocker that he was even out with them. I mean, I could count on one hand the amount of times that they'd invite James to a party. But the story as I know it is that Liam, and Matt, and Sean, and Mike are at this party, and James is there too, right? And they're all 16, 17, and Liam... Listen, I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure, but Liam did something sort of creepy to a girl there. I think, I don't know. It might have been before the party, but the girl's brother was there, and all of his friends were there, and they're like, we're going to fucking kill Liam O'Connell. And my cousins are outnumbered. Like, this guy had all his friends there, right? So, they get in the car and they start driving away. And this guy and his friends get in his car and they start following my cousins. So it's this fucking chase up Harlem Avenue. And my cousins are all drunk and panicked and they don't want to stop. No one has any cell phones yet, right? And so they pulled it, they pulled up to this place, McNally's, that all the O'Connells have been drinking at all day. And it was my cousin, Mary Claire's baby shower. And everyone's totally hammered, right? I was 10, but, I was still there, and I see Liam, and Matt, and Sean, and Mike, and James knock on the window. And my dad goes outside, and then everyone else goes outside. So I follow, and I see a bunch of teenage boys, and my cousins, and all my aunts and uncles, and this kid, this big fucking kid, throws a punch at my uncle right in his face. And it was like someone smacked a beehive. I mean, it was mayhem. And I'm just standing there on the side, and my mom's going crazy and screaming, and someone pulls a baseball bat out of their car. And my uncle said it was a big group of boys that brought it, and the boys, they said it was my uncle, whatever. People start wrestling for it. It falls to the ground, and everyone's so swept up in everything that it's just on the ground waiting. And I'm standing there staring at it, and I look across, and I see James just standing there too, staring, and I see him walk towards the baseball bat, and he picks it up, right? And this is where my story's going to differ from everyone else's, okay? Because they're going to say that he tried to swing it at one of the other boys' stomachs, right, and that the boys swerved out of the way, and that the bat swung right up into my Aunt Jill's jaw. That's what they all say. That was the official story after it happened, that it was an accident. But I was the only one who saw it. I watched him pause and look around and hold up the bat and look right at Aunt Jill. I saw him think about it. And I saw him step forward and swing straight and shatter her jaw, okay? It was hanging off of her face. She needed months and months of reconstructive surgery. It was a mess. I mean, he ended the fight with that. Everyone stopped. You could hear a pin drop. And he was totally all right after it, too, in the legal sense, at least, in the way that my brothers and cousins always were. And listen, my cousins always ragged on James, I think really because they thought he was a coward, just in general in life. And, I mean, he was. He hit a lady in the face, his own aunt. I mean, that's a coward, but... I always think about that moment when I saw him stop and think right before he did it, and how for the first time in his whole life he thought swing. And there was nothing stopping him just for that moment, he could swing. He looked around, he looked at all of us, and he could swing.